Well, high-ranking Irish politicians usually spend St. Patrick's Day anywhere but Ireland, and that's because it's not just Irish culture that's in the spotlight at this time of year. St. Patrick's Day is also an opportunity for discussions around Irish political priorities. As per tradition, the Irish Prime Minister, or Taoiseach, Leo Varadkar, will travel to Washington, D.C. This weekend to meet with President Biden, as will the leader of the opposition party, Mary Lou McDonald of Sinn Féin. Meantime, the Deputy Prime Minister, or Taoiseach, Michael Martin, Michael Martin will be here in Vancouver meeting with the Irish community. It's Micheál Martin, by the way. For more on what might be on the agenda this Sunday, we're joined now by two Irish-born guests. Mike Hurley is the mayor of Burnaby. He is originally from County Derry, and he's with us. Good morning to you, Mayor Hurley.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being with us. And Alan MCConnell is the president of a political lobby group, Friends of Sinn Féin Canada. He grew up in Vancouver, but he was born in Larne in County Antrim. Good morning to you, Alan.
Good morning, Steve.
Beginning with you, Alan, the Taoiseach and Mary Lou McDonald have both said that they want to use their time in Washington, D.C. to persuade the Americans to call for a ceasefire in Gaza. A lot of people on this continent might not know this, but just explain, if you can, how mainstream pro-Palestinian beliefs have been in Irish politics and within Sinn Féin, even long before this current war.
Well, certainly, first up, Friends of Sinn Féin Canada does not have a mandate one way or the other on the Palestine-Israel conflict, but Sinn Féin certainly does. Sinn Féin calls for an immediate ceasefire, release of all hostages, and a serious, determined international effort to bring about a two-state solution. The sympathy for the Palestinian cause and the Palestinian people is strong in Ireland, and certainly Sinn Féin, I would argue, is the leading proponent on the island of Ireland of Palestinian rights to self-determination. It is quite a natural fit for a people that have been pushed around and bullied and oppressed for centuries by their big neighbor. It is a natural fit for such a people to sympathize with the Palestinians in their struggle.
And is there any confusion at all with the sympathy for the Palestinian people and the empathy for the Palestinian people and support for Hamas?
I can't really comment on that as someone from Friends of Sinn Féin Canada. There is sympathy for the plight that the Palestinian people that are suffering under currently. They are an oppressed people. They have a right to self-determination. And we want to see a just and lasting settlement to that conflict, which sees self-determination, a state for the Palestinian people, but also a secure Israel.
Right. Now, Mayor Hurley, aside from their views on the Israel-Hamas war, we're also seeing increased outreach from Sinn Féin here in Canada in the lead up to the next election. Now, that party has long been focused on Irish reunification, bringing the North and South together again as one country. They have soared in popularity in Ireland recently. How do you think that they are being received in the diaspora, in people whose families have moved from Ireland?
I would say, from what I have seen, for the most part, the diaspora are not at the same place as the people of Ireland themselves. They're still, people of my age group, I would say are still, still see Ireland the way it was when we grew up there. I go back there on a regular basis, so I likely see it a little differently, but certainly the young people in Ireland have moved on, and they want a brighter future, and they expect their politicians to deliver that brighter future. And it's very, very obvious when I go there and meet my relatives that they look forward to an Ireland that's fair for all and equal for all and opportunities for all. And so I would say the landscape in Ireland is changing drastically. I think, I'm not too sure, certainly the diaspora of my generation are aware of the total change of the thoughts of the young people of Ireland.
And Alan, you have been organizing Sinn Féin outreach and funding events here in Canada for quite some time, and the party has rebranded in recent years. I mean, they were long associated with the IRA, considered, in fact, the political wing of the IRA in many people's minds. Now they're seen as much more mainstream. Are you seeing any difference in the way Irish Canadians have been engaging with the message of Sinn Féin recently?
Certainly, I note a change. Following up on what Mayor Mike said there, it appears to me that perhaps the Irish Canadian diaspora are maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe 5 years behind where the people in Ireland are in terms of the unity question, in terms of the reunification question. Irish unity is front and center. It is a major political issue in Ireland and in Europe. And Irish Canada is coming around to a proper and a full understanding that unity is on the agenda. We can achieve it in our generation. And so we're finding that there are communities across the country that are stepping up to the plate and saying, yes, we Irish Canadians want to play that role, want to play a role in this major historic transformation, the ending of partition and the unity of Ireland. So we're finding growing support right across. We've taken Sinn Féin representatives to, last year it was 7 cities across the country. We get great welcomes wherever we come. We're welcomed in Ottawa and Parliament Hill. We have friends in all our political parties because there's a great sympathy and a great interest in Ireland, and certainly, especially at this time of year on the eve of St. Patrick's Day.
But how does parading Sinn Féin politicians across the country help the domestic effort for reunification?
Well, ultimately, we still have to deal with Britain. We still have to get the referenda that is called for or that is set out in the Good Friday Agreement. And we found that the Irish diaspora in Canada and the United States particularly played a key role in helping win the Good Friday Agreement way back in the 1990s. And that diaspora is going to play a vital role in, first of all, pressuring Britain to call those referendums and then respect a result. And what we hope is a yes result. The Irish diaspora is going to be crucial in that regard, but it's also going to be crucial in helping Ireland, helping those in Ireland transform the country into a full united country with rights and equality for all. The Irish diaspora has a role to play, and they're eager to play it.
And Mayor Hurley, you are, of course, from the North, and a lot of the conversation about reunification has tended to center on whether those in the North are really ready to join the Republic. How ready do you think most people in Ireland actually are to integrate those two different communities of the Republic and the North?
Well, I think, the approach seems to be that the communities are starting to work more together now and trying to understand. I mean, when I grew up, the communities were totally apart for the most part. They didn't integrate the way they are now. Communities are working far more together. The younger people are not interested, frankly, in too much talking about the past. They're only really interested in the future. So I think that those communities will come together and they will find a way forward. And again, people of my generation will I believe get pushed aside, and the need for that country that is equal for all and that everyone has equal opportunities, I think is front and center in all the communities now. And I think that's what really will make the difference in the North, where people will come together and say, yes, we got to build a better future for all. And likely, the unification of Ireland, the small country in any case, never mind if you just take the North, is what makes the most sense. And, but the communities will work together to get there. And that's a very important piece, that everyone's treated equally as we move through this process as well. No one wants to go back to the dark old ages of others' unequal power. So I'm very positive that those communities can work really well together and come up with the right solutions for our country.
Well, we shall be watching very closely. Very good to hear from both of you today. Thank you so much for taking the time with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, both of you. Mike Hurley, the mayor of Burnaby, originally from County Derry in Ireland. Alan MCConnell is the president of Friends of Sinn Féin Canada, and he was born also in the north in County Antrim.